In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create new effects using nested groups with motions applied, just like the one that you're seeing here on the screen. This effect can be applied to any objects, including text, images, backgrounds, you name it. So the secret to creating these cool effects is to nest your groups and attach motions to them. You can nest as many groups as you want, and you can attach as many motions as you want. So without any further ado, let's get into it and see how it's done. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring in some text so that we can animate it. And all I need from this is just the word text. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that it's easier to see what's happening. And the text here is about 5 seconds. I'm going to just move it over here. And this stuff here is hidden, so you don't have to worry about it. So now the way to get your animation to work is to start by placing the text in a group. So you can do Control G or right click and say group. I'm just going to move these things up here so these two here are out of view. Okay, so now let's start adding some animation. First thing we're going to do is we're going to click on motion, make sure that we're clicked with the in, and I'm going to use position and I'm going to go right. So the text will come in from the left to the right and it'll come to the middle of the screen for a few seconds and then it's going to exit. So we're going to go out, position, and to the right again. So let's just check and see if that's doing what it's supposed to do. Text comes in, stays there for a second, and then it's out. Okay, so now let's add something else to it. So we take this, we click on the group, and we do Control G again, or right click and just do Add Group. And we're going to add another motion. So for this one, let's do a fade in and a fade out. So we're going to do in, fade, fade in, and out, fade, fade out. So now we're expecting us to see the text come in from the left, fade in as it's coming in, and then fade out as it goes off to the right again. So and there you go. That's exactly what's happening. It's fading in, and it's as it's coming in, and it's fading out as it's going out. You can see that here like this. Okay. Now let's add another motion to it. So we're going to do Control G again to put it inside of another group. And this group, let's say we do rotation. So for in, we're going to do rotation and we're going to rotate it. You can see what's happening here. And then for the out, we're going to do again rotate and we're going to rotate it again. So now let's see what's happening. See, it's coming in, it's rotating in, and it's rotating out. In and out. So there you have. That's your first example of bringing in some text and adding a brand new animation to it that doesn't exist right now. But by combining all of these different motions in layered or nested groups, you can actually create brand new animations that don't exist. And we're going to try another one here. I'm going to, once again, I'm going to bring in something. Let's say, okay, so we're going to add our zombie character to our stage. And we're going to shrink him down a little bit so that he fits on the page. Like so. We're going to group them. And we're going to add some motions to them. So I'm going to add a rotation. So the in, rotation, and I'm going to rotate them. And then for the out, we're going to add rotation again, and we're going to rotate him out. So this is what he's going to look like when he comes in and when he goes out. So far, all he's doing is rotating, nothing else. So now let's take it and make it grouped again. And we're going to go with position this time. And for the in, he's going to go to the right. And for the out, he's going to go to the right again. So now he should be both rotating and coming into the screen. So you see him come in, he's rotating, and he goes out, he's rotating again. And let's just play it. And one of the things that you can adjust here is exactly where he's coming in and out from. Because by default, when you set up these motions, you'll see he's way over here. And he doesn't need to really be way over there. But if you click on the motion, you can actually bring him in like this. That way we'll see more of the rotation when he comes in. And the same thing when he goes out. He doesn't need to go out too far. So you can bring him in a little bit. Like so. That way we can see more of the rotation happening. So let's play it in like this. And then back out again. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Now let's add one more. So we're going to add another motion, and this one, I think I want to make him fade. So in, we're going to make him fade in, and then out, we're going to make him fade out. So let's have a look at that. So here he fades in, and here he fades out. Now this is cool because you can use this to create like a carousel effect. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to have more of these happening. So all you have to do now is just duplicate this. And if you overlap the effects, they'll be happening at the same time, as you can see here already. So the first one comes in, and then as he's leaving, the other one's coming out. And you can adjust how much overlap there is. You can even have no overlap at all, but just place it right next to it. That way, one at a time will come in, or you can do something like this. Now, what's really cool about this is that since they're nested in groups, all you have to do is come up here and say replace, and replace it with another one. And see, now you have a different one coming in. Now I have to caution you here. The only thing that you need to be careful of is that the images are the same ratio. Because if you have an image that's 1920 by 1080 versus one that's 1080 by 1080, when you bring it in here, there's going to be weird things are going to happen. It's going to cut off the images in certain places. They won't look right. So you'll have to go all the way into the image itself and have to go in and adjust it. You'd have to actually come in here and resize it yourself to what you needed. But if they're the same size, this makes an awesome image carousel. And you can adjust the amount of time that they're going to be in this on screen and off screen as well. And I'm going to show you, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to show you a quick trick that you can do like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, once you have your slideshow set up the way you want it, if you come in here and you group all of these, the cool thing is that now you can see that you can actually come and replace everything right here. So for instance, since we duplicated, we have 2 of each. But let's say I want to come in here and I want to replace this one. I'll replace them with this. And this one here, I'm going to replace him with this one. Now you're going to see that you have all different images. And that was really simple to do. See, and here's what I was talking about as far as the images. If they're not the right size, you get some clipping that takes place. So that's easy enough to fix. All you need to do is come in here. That's this one here. We're going to go all the way in. And all we have to do is actually just replace the image in here. Because like I said, it does this weird clipping thing. So you need to delete the image, and you need to place another image inside the same image. But what we're going to do is when we bring it in here like so, just put it here. And we can resize him like so. Now when we go back to the main timeline, you'll see that he's right there. And once again, I left that in there on purpose so I can show you what happens and how to fix it, like I've done in a lot of my other videos. It actually, I think it's a great learning tool to be able to see what can go wrong and how you can fix it. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more really cool thing that you can do. So now that you've built this really awesome carousel to display your images or text, whatever you want, what you can do is you can save this so you have it to use later on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call it carousel. And then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say save it to my scenes. So now I have it over here. So let's say I want to use it in another video somewhere. All I have to do is come up to scenes, my scenes, and just drag it on. And there you have it. And all you'll have to do is just add the photos, because of course, if you bring this into another scene, the photos are not going to probably be available, but it's all ready to receive images. And you have to do is just come up here and replace them. So you come up here, you hit replace, and you can import images from somewhere else, and you're ready to go. And you can reuse this over and over again. I would create one for text, and I would create one for images, and maybe one for backgrounds, and just save them all to my scenes. Maybe call it carousel-text, carousel-images, carousel-backgrounds, carousel-characters. And they'll always be there available for you to use. If you found this video useful and you learned something new, please don't forget to like and subscribe.